But I do got my Red Bull, and we're getting it.
I said, don't film me.
As you guys can see, I got some battle wounds over here, battle wounds up here.
Get that camera up. You're so tough, right? You got a camera.
If you try to snatch the camera out of his hand, I'll break your neck, bro. It ain't nothing you can do to me, bro.
Welcome to the John Ligato Show. I'm John Ligato. We've all seen this sign at entrances to buildings, and we all know that auditors ignore these signs, whether the sign is prohibiting cameras or guns.
So we're going to go in here and attempt to do a video tour, and I'm also going to be open carrying. We'll remind you that there is state preemption, so the library itself cannot actually make their own rules regarding carrying of firearms. There's also case law out of Michigan regarding Michigan open carry and their district library system. I think that was from 2011.
This gun-toting auditor has two fantasies going on here. Number one, public buildings can establish their own restrictions in regard to limited public forums. Now, what's that mean? And the auditors base their whole auditing on the supremacy clause of the Constitution, which states that the federal government trumps local government. But since the Constitution has been formed, the Supreme Court has clarified and allowed public buildings to establish areas that are not considered public forums. They're called limited public forums. So the library has considered itself and established itself through policy as a limited public forum which doesn't allow guns. The second fantasy this auditor has is he's quoting a Michigan law in Pennsylvania. Obviously, if a Michigan law doesn't qualify and has no jurisdiction in Pennsylvania.
How you doing? Can I get your name, sir?
Yeah, I talked to you at the police station the other day, Sergeant Davis.
Sergeant Davis, awesome. I really don't need that. I appreciate it.
So you're employed here by the library, correct?
By the library, yes.
And as what capacity?
Security.
Security. And have you advised this gentleman that he's no longer allowed to be on the property?
Yeah.
No, we're actually having a discussion. I do believe this is a public entity. They receive tax dollars, correct?
Okay. So do you understand that you're not welcome to be here anymore?
I understand that they don't want me to be here. If you like, we can go outside and chat.
That's
but,
fine. Let's go outside.
Okay.
Do you remember talking to me the other day?
I talked to, I don't remember who I talked to.
That's
so,
fine. We're good.
How you doing? Can I have your name, please?
Williams, Officer Williams.
Nice to meet you. Hi.
You want to go outside?
Yeah, after you.
I'll come back in and talk to you guys then. Thank you.
Let's get to the heart of the issue here. We know that we have certain rights, but we also should have common sense. So this gunslinging camera boy isn't there to check out a book or do some research, is he? He's not there for that. He's there for the sole purpose to prove a point. We live in an era of mass shootings. So if you auditors want to prove a point, you have the right to open carry, then pick another location. Try a municipal building. A library is considered a soft target by law enforcement. What's that mean? There's no outer perimeter to stop or slow down some shooter, someone with a gun, and there are no armed security guards inside.
So if they ask you to leave, that's when it becomes a problem.
But the problem is it's public. That's where the issue is.
Absolutely. And to come into it, but once they say that you didn't go by the rules or whatever it is that they have, whatever rules it is that they say that you didn't.
Well, they're claiming that it wasn't filming today, like the last guy. They're claiming it's because I'm open carrying my firearm.
You know, other techniques of auditors is to attempt to confuse the cop with, I'm going live, or you should know who I am, or Lieutenant so-and-so knows me, and it's okay for me to film. But it's all big bluff because basically no one knows who they are. They could care what going live is. They might not even know what that means. And Lieutenant so-and-so, they don't know who he is.
It's a government entity. They can't act like that. They can't do that. They can't chill First Amendment and Second Amendment activity as a government entity. You should know that as a sergeant. You are a sergeant, correct?
Correct.
You should know that. If not, maybe Lieutenant Heisey or somebody would know that. Because, I mean, he's familiar with carrying firearms on public property regarding the market.
Who's Lieutenant Heisey?
Lieutenant Heisey? I don't know if he's still there, but when the incident happened down at the market where the guy had the long gun,
Okay.
are you familiar?
No. I understand. But so I'm here to look at the trespassing issue, and as far as an authorized person who was the gentleman that you were talking to when I first got here, hey, how you doing? Yourself? Good.
How you doing? You can come over. I won't bite. I promise. Oh, okay. Do I stink?
How would he know from there?
I ate a lot of garlic.
How would he know from there if you stink?
A quick prediction here. This guy's a new auditor. He's not going to last.
If you can restrict my rights here this is a government entity. There's case law, like I said, out of Michigan. You can look it up. You cannot chill people's rights simply for carrying a firearm where legal, where I'm lawfully allowed to be, and you can't for filming. You can't do that. It's First and Second Amendment protected activity. And by them doing that, and by you being here, assisting them in that, not only does that make them susceptible, but it can make you susceptible in a lawsuit. I don't want to go that route.
That's fine. Do you need my card?
Yeah, I'd love to have it.
So let me get that. So you have been advised that you're not allowed to go back in there. If you go back in there, you could be cited with trespassing. All right.
Okay,
I don't want that to happen. You don't have any other equipment or gear or anything like that, right?
No, I have what you see on me, so I'm going to have to file a lawsuit.
Understood. That's fine.
Okay.
I'll get you my card.
All right, I appreciate it.
You can only threaten somebody so much before it becomes hollow. And this cop's had enough.
Governmentally, it's funded by taxpayers, okay? Just like you're funded by taxpayers. I have a legal right to be in there. You understand I'm just letting you know this is a violation. You're chilling my First and Second Amendment right now.
This isn't how this conversation is going to go. You have two options. You can sue anybody, sue me, that's fine. You know how to go about that. I'm just telling you that if you go back in there and they call us again, you're going to get charged and cited.
Okay.
If it has to turn into an arrest because you refuse to leave, that's when it gets upgraded to the misdemeanor.
Auditors threaten lawsuits in almost every video. They win very few of them, and most of the payouts are nuisance payouts. Cops have reached the point of...
This isn't how this conversation is going to go. You have two options. You can sue anybody, sue me, that's fine.
The John Ligato Show is being broadcast from outside the gates of Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune in beautiful North Carolina. If you like the show, subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, and we don't ask for personal information. Semper Fidelis.